Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, guess what? We're back. This is Kathleen Wells, and this is the Kathleen Wells Show. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells. I'm sure not everyone is familiar with my name and my work product, but let's see. I had a radio show on KCAA radio AM 1050 for 4 years. It was a political show. I talked about politics, and I talked about it in a traditional way. When I say a traditional way, I'm talking about Democrat, Republican, liberal versus conservative, that kind of thing. But now this is the new and improved Kathleen Wells Show. And I'm glad you're listening, and I'm glad you're joining me because, after doing 4 years of a radio show, you come to the realization that maybe you need to dig deeper, maybe you need to figure out things because Black America keeps voting Democrat for 60 years, and yet we are regressing economically, regressing. We're going backwards. That's a problem. Wouldn't you say that's a problem? I mean, it's definitely not a good thing. It's a negative thing. So we have to examine, analyze, and figure out why, after 60 years of loyally voting Democrat, is Black America regressing economically? Someone has to answer that question. Someone has to figure that out. And one of the things that I realized when I did my show, the traditional way, left versus right, liberal versus conservative, Democrat versus Republican, one of the things that I realized is that it's like going over the same stuff over and over and over again, like on a treadmill, like running on empty. You're a hamster on a treadmill. Their feet are moving really fast, but they're not going anywhere. They're not moving forward. And I would think to a regular thinking person that this would be problematic, right? Don't you think? Don't you think most people would say, wait a second, hey, let me get off, let me regroup, let me think about it, let me dig deeper, let me strategize, let me analyze. But, some of us, it's meaningless. I mean, some of us, many of us, because during the 2016 election, most Black folks voted Democrat. It didn't dawn on them that, there are some Blacks that didn't, right? Because Donald Trump received 13% of the Black male vote. That's a start. That's an awakening. That's a beginning. That's a good thing. So that 13% of Black males that voted for Trump, those guys woke up. They realized, hey, we can't keep doing the same thing and go nowhere or go backwards. No one would do that. No normal thinking person would do that. No normal thinking person would do that. We did this show yesterday, and the reason why I'm doing it again today, I'm repeating it, Black Trump supporters. The reason why I'm repeating it is because we had a snafu. It was my fault. I clicked on something wrong, and you guys couldn't hear me for 28 minutes. That's okay, because we do it again. We're doing it again, and we're doing it better. I believe it. We're doing it better. And it needs to be done because Black folks in America, they need a platform. They need a place where they can talk about politics in a savvy and sophisticated way, not in a immature, childlike way, where you're doing the same. There's a definition for someone who does the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again and gets nowhere. What is that definition? I'm sure many of you know. So let me back up a little bit and tell you a little bit about me. As I said, my name is Kathleen Wells. You can find my work product. Before I got into the radio business, I wrote articles. Actually, I did volunteer for the first term of Obama. I did volunteer. I did vote for him in the first term. I did not vote for him in the second term. But during that time, I was involved in politics, and I wrote about politics. You can find some of my interviews, many of my interviews on the Huffington Post. I interviewed members of the House and members of the Senate, people like Sherrod Brown, who is the senator of Ohio. I also interviewed, I can't think of his name, that guy in Florida, one of the senators in Florida. His name escapes me. I can't remember. And then I also interviewed Congresswoman Barbara Lee. She appeared on my radio show a few times. We talked about the fact that Black Americans, or Americans in general, are losing the American dream. But she never went into like specifics. Kind of like, this was probably 3 years ago that I did this interview with Barbara Lee, when she's talking about a job fair for Black Americans in the Bay Area, in Southern California and Northern California. A job fair. So now, hey, fast forward to today, and what do? You see in the Los Angeles Times that Black folks, Black workers in Los Angeles are what? In the throes of a job crisis. What? We talked about jobs and education a few years ago. We talked about jobs and education 10 years ago. We talked about jobs and education 20 years ago. We talked about jobs and education for Black America 40 years ago. We talked about jobs and education for Black Americans 60 years ago. We talked about jobs and education for Black Americans 80 years ago. We talked about we talked about mass incarceration 10 years ago. We talked about police brutality 40 years ago. We talked about police brutality for Black Americans 60 years ago. We talked about mass incarceration and police brutality 100 years ago. Do you get it? I mean, some of you might want to talk about the same thing for the next 100 years, but it's not going to be me. It'll be you, not me. I'm not going to talk about the same thing for 100 years. At some point, it has to dawn on us that maybe we're not talking about it accurately. Maybe we're not talking about it properly. Maybe we need to change our strategy. Maybe we need to rethink our outlook on politics. Maybe we need to dig deeper and do a little bit of research and think about things differently if we are doing the same thing over and over again for 100 years, 150 years, 200 years, and we're regressing. One of the things that came to my realization, one of the things that woke me up to this notion that we're on a treadmill, that Black America is on the treadmill, running on empty, going nowhere fast, was when I started to read the lectures on YouTube by Dr. Claude Anderson. He was also a regular guest on my show on KCAA. When I started to listen to his lectures, all of his lectures is excellent, but one in particular that I liked was The Exceptional People. He talks about the fact that Black Americans, we are the direct descendants of slaves. 98% of us in America are the direct descendants of slaves. We've been in this country 400 years. You got to know the data. We own 0.5% of the wealth of this nation. 0.5% of the wealth of this nation. And guess what? That's the same percentage we owned 150 years ago, when there were only 200,000 free Black folks. I don't care what the talking heads in the media say. I don't care what the Black politicians say. I don't care what the Black celebrities say. If you're not citing the data, you're not saying anything. It's hogwash. It's meaningless. It's cheap talk. So we need to stop paying attention. It's like, this is what I'm thinking. If you're not talking about the data, I don't want to hear from you. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about the data. Frank Morris, who's an expert on immigration, talks about the data. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, they talk about the data. The celebrities, the Black politicians, the Black talking heads talk about their feelings. We've been talking about our feelings for 100 years, for 200 years. So obviously that's not working. No one cares for your feelings. Tell me the data. We live in a capitalist world. It's becoming more capitalistic. Not less. Not less. And let's see, white liberals, Democrats, convince blacks that, we're all in this together. That we're going to be socialist. Hasn't that been discussed before? What was Hillary's mantra? We're in this together. We're in this together. Well, if we're in this together, how come black folks are the only ones facing a job crisis in Los Angeles? You can Google that article. It's in the Los Angeles Times. And it's obvious. It's obvious to any thinking person. It's obvious to any thinking person. So I'm wondering, who are these celebrities? Who are these black politicians? Who are these people giving advice to black America? Who are these people? How are they credible? How are they legitimate to be saying the same thing over and over and over again? And none of us are going to be like, snap out of it. None of us are going to be like, hey, I don't think so. And when I get on social media, I'm so astonished by the level. Everyone can curse each other out, say bad things about them. You're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that. That's an argument to most black folks. You're a B, you're an N-word. I don't even like to say them. Because I'm about having standards. I'm about raising the standard of black America so that we all can move up. Everybody is, on social media, that's the thing. I realize on social media, everybody's an expert. Everyone knows everything. Everyone is a know-it-all. Everyone's a genius. They don't realize this is an opinion. And everyone has an opinion, and all opinions different. There are 340 or 330 or 350 million people in America, and we all have opinions. Everybody has an opinion. There's as many opinions as there are noses. We all have an opinion. Big deal. You don't get brownie points for having an opinion. You are not the king of your neighborhood. You are not all that in a bag of chips for having an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Tell me the data. Tell me the data. So anyway, I've gotten off on a tangent because, I think I had a cup of coffee and I'm like getting upset just talking about it. And that's the truth. Just talking about it is upsetting. Because I read that article again in the Los Angeles Times. They focus on construction and manufacturing jobs. Why in the heck is America, why in the heck are black folks in Los Angeles experiencing a job crisis? We have been voting Democrat loyally for 60 years. Why is that happening? Somebody has to talk about it. And why don't our black politicians, I interviewed Maxine Waters. Google it. Kathleen Wells, Maxine Waters. It'll come up on Huffington Post. I interviewed Diane Watson, Barbara Lee, Bobby Scott, Sherrod Brown, all those folks. I've interviewed them. None of them talk about the economic conditions of black America. The only one that talked about it, woke me up to it, is Dr. Claude Anderson. Anyway, I was just reading. I see some of you in the chat room, and I love it. Because like I said, I had a snafu yesterday. We're doing the show again today. It's important. We need to have it done. I think all black folks are walking around baffled, confused, upset, frustrated. Darn well black folks in LA are frustrated. You see black men riding bicycles. Most of them don't even have cars anymore. Of course they're facing a job crisis. The homelessness rate in Los Angeles has skyrocketed. And black folks are the face of homelessness in Los Angeles, coming to a city near you. California, Los Angeles represents the future. If you don't have your priorities straight. If we're the mecca of illegal immigration. The mecca. And we don't realize legal and illegal immigration impacts the labor force. This isn't a show about immigration. I'm going to do a show about immigration. You better believe it. I'm going to do a show about immigration. No question about it. Probably a few shows. Probably a few shows about this show is about being a black Trump supporter. So let me go back to what I have bullet points about what I'm supposed to talk about, but I sort of got off on a tangent because I just read that article in the Los Angeles Times and it upset me. Particularly after you have a cup of coffee. You're like buzzed about it. It's like, oh my God, what? It's like, what the heck? This morning I was just looking at a lecture or I guess we would call it a speech or a presentation. That's what I want. A presentation by the woman who wants to be the new dean of Boalt Hall, which is UC Berkeley Law School, where I graduated from Berkeley Law School. She was giving a presentation. And it just brought back so many memories of being in law school in my 20s and how I thought about things. You're in your 20s, you're optimistic. You feel like the future is yours. You own it, You've got life in your hands and you can just take it on. But it's not until you start working in these law firms and dealing with these folks in these media organizations, et cetera, and editors and Huffing, all these people, all these liberal people. It's like, what the heck is this? Because when you're in school, you don't experience that level of blockage, negativity. But you know what? I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about black Trump. I'm off on a tangent. I want to talk about black Trump supporters. That's what I want to talk about. And one of the things that I want to say to you, and this is going to be, since it's going well thus far, I want this to be, we're going to play it by ear, but I would like it to be a marathon black Trump supporter show. In other words, black folks who support Trump, I'd like you to call in and tell us why. What motivated you? What was your impetus for supporting Trump, et cetera, et cetera. Though, I think those of us who are awake and aware and involved and dig deep and do our research and critically think about issues, I think those are the people who support Trump. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. I mean, you can never convince me that I don't think straight. You know what? I saw, you see comments on YouTube and they call you the B word. They call it, I mean, it's so silly. I can't even get to that level. It's laughable. It's laughable. So you will never convince me that I'm not able to think good, that I'm not a good thinker. And I'm asking other black folks to become good thinkers, to become open-minded, okay? To understand that politics is about strategy, that it's sophisticated. You have to be savvy. It's not superficial. It's not about feelings. It's about strategy. So even if, I can't imagine why any black person in America would continue to vote Democrat. I don't care what. So even if you didn't like Trump, you could not vote. You could not vote. But to continue and to consistently vote Democrat when you know this lets me know that people just sit up in their house and listen to MSNBC and CNN all day long. That's all they do. That's all they do. They don't realize that there are two sides to every story, two sides to every coin. Hey, let me go check out Fox, even though the liberals have denigrated Fox, have made Republicans, conservatives, the Antichrist. They made Donald Trump into the devil personified. This is what people believe. So it's like they're not even open-minded enough to like, well, let me hear the perspective. Let me go over to Fox and check out what they're doing. And let me see what they're doing. And also there are other people, they're YouTubers who talk about information critically, analytically, like the Bill Still reports. He predicted that Trump would win. The Bill Still reports. I recommend his reports. He's excellent. I mean, the issue is you're supposed to get your information from many sources. You don't just limit your knowledge to one source. You don't just stick with one thing and that's it. That's the be-all, end-all of information. You're supposed to go out and expand your mind and find information everywhere. Not just one place. MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, that's crazy. It's like, let's hear what the other people are saying. Let's get a different perspective. Also, Dick Morris analyzes things very well. He has a YouTube channel. Do you listen to him? Listen, Dick Morris has been dealing with I think he went to law school with Hillary Clinton. So he's been in this business for what? He's known the Clintons for 40-some years. He's worked in D.C. Don't you think the man would have some insight on politics and the Clintons? So you can't listen to anything he has to say about anything? You have no interest in what he says about anything? Another person I listen to is Lionel Nation. He used to work at Air America. Liberal, progressive. He knows Rachel Maddow. Even he's a liberal, he's a progressive. I hate labels, but I'm just saying labels are not sufficient because people who are open-minded and learners and critical in their thought, they're just people gaining information. They are not necessarily a label. Don't stick them into a box. They just want to grow and evolve and learn and gain information. This is what I'm saying to Black Americans. Become something like this. What is the standard? Are we only the N word and the B word? Is that the extent of who we are as people? Do you know our history? Anyway, I'm really off topic, right? Because we're supposed to be talking about Black Trump supporters. So let me look at my bullet points real quick to see. Oh, one of the things that I wanted to say is that this station, the Kathleen Wells Show. As I said, 4 years on KCAA, I did traditional radio. I talked about liberal versus conservative, Democrat versus Republican, left versus right. But now, since I've been listening to Dr. Claude Anderson and others, like Dr. Amos Wilson and Dr. Tony Martin, and listening to Peter Kirasnow, his last name is spelled Kirasnow, and Frank Morris, who's the expert on immigration. After listening to these people, I have a different perspective, of course. And if you listen to them, you would have a different perspective. You would know, and if you listen to them, you would learn the data, and it would be like, let me think, what's going on? You wouldn't just be stuck listening to the same old stuff forever. So anyway, the Kathleen Wells Show has now made a 180-degree turn. A 180-degree turn. And this show is going to be about building. Mainstream media is dead, folks. I don't know if you know it, but people in the know it. In fact, with Lionel Nation, check him out on YouTube, his channel. He's very interesting, very insightful. He's a lawyer that has worked in the media. He tells you mainstream media is dead. So new media is now the thing. New media. And I want to be a part of it, and I am a part of it. And I'm about informing Americans and Black Americans specifically. Americans in general and Black Americans specifically. Okay? Because we're going to be sophisticated. We want to talk about politics as a people who are sophisticated and savvy. We're adults. Why shouldn't we? Why should we talk about it like children on a superficial level? We should be savvy and sophisticated about politics. We should have an agenda. We should have a strategy. And when I say strategy, I'm thinking again about the 2016 campaign. Because Black folks, they were like, honey, some of these Black folks that I would talk to, they would strangle you if they couldn't vote for Hillary. And I'm like, listen, we've been voting Democrat for 60 years. We had 8 years of Obama, and what? Black folks in Los Angeles are facing a job crisis. Black home ownership has decreased after 8 years of Obama. That's enough. The first semester or the first session, his first whatever session that he was president, that was enough for me to say, oh, heck no. I got to get off this Democratic thing, merry-go-round, and try something else. So I'm wondering, why didn't other blacks? Well, some did, yeah, but not enough. Some were so adamant. And you listen to Washington Journal, C-SPAN's Washington Journal in the morning. I'm an early riser, and so I listen to that show, and you have black callers calling in about how much they love Obama. And all they have is character assassination for Trump. This is like Arrested Development. Do adults talk like that? Do mature adults talk like that? Mature adults talk about the data. It's not this isn't personal. You ain't dating Obama. He's not your boyfriend. He's not your husband. He's the president. You don't know him personally. Why are you so invested in someone you don't know personally? You don't know that man. But one thing you do know is the data. And black folks in America, in Los Angeles, the home ownership rate has decreased. People, some of the folks that call into C-SPAN, Washington Journal, they act like Obama's their husband. I mean, it's like they have such a hard-on for the man. I'm like, what's the problem? Why? You don't even know the man. How are you gonna love somebody that hard? You never met him. You got to do something for me to love you. That's the bottom line. That's how I was raised. I don't just go around loving folks because they're 6'2" or something. You gotta show. It's about show me, do something, be proactive, activity. You don't just love people. I just don't get it. I gotta tell you, I just don't get it. Anyway, I've talked on and on. I haven't. I'm just sort of like not extrapolating. What is the word that I want to use? What is the word? Somebody knows what I'm just kind of like going. I'm just out there, right? I had a bullet point. I haven't even gone over them, but you know what? I think I'm gonna just put out the call-in number, and I think, let's see, Ted Hayes is going to be my first caller. He's a black activist here in Los Angeles. I dig the man. Let me tell you why. Because once I started getting hip to this immigration business, I started looking at because see, I do research. I have the time to do it. Some of you don't have the time to do it. But I have to do it because I have a radio show. That means I have to keep up to date on what's going on politically. So when I got hip to this immigration business, I started looking at videos. And that's how I learned about Frank Morris, the expert on immigration. I dug and dug and dug. I know immigration backwards and forwards. I can recite some of the data that I learned from Dr. Claude Anderson, that I learned from Frank Morris. And another person that I would see is Terry Anderson, who has since passed, and I would also see Ted Hayes, a black activist. This man has been devoted and committed to how immigration, illegal, but immigration generally, immigration impacts your labor force. Black Americans have been here 400 years. Don't you think we should be working? Hello? So anyway, Ted Hayes has been an activist in Los Angeles on the immigration issue for I don't know how long. But he's going to call in. Let me give out the call-in number. He's going to be our first caller. And then after Ted, I want some of you to call in and tell us why you support Donald Trump. What motivated you to either vote for him or support him. So anyway, the call-in number is 323-522-5899. And our first caller will be Ted Hayes. And then after that, I want the rest of you to call in. I think we'll do a marathon show, but I don't know. I talked a lot yesterday. And I don't know if I can keep talking. And I'm on coffee right now. And, it's going to wear. You know how you have, like, when you're on coffee and then you kind of like crash and burn. I don't know if I can do it. But we'll do the best we can. We'll play it by ear. And That's what I'm going to say. So, what else? I gave out the call-in number. I said the first call. You guys can hear me. I know he's supposed to be calling in, but he hasn't. So we'll wait for him to call in. But let me look at a few of my bullet points before I get a call. Right. So what I wanted to say is that most black folks do not understand politics. We think it's about feelings and it's about economics. Where are you economically? Another thing, most blacks do not feel like they're part of the black group. They don't feel that black Americans are their tribe. I don't know what the data, I don't know specifically how many. I mean, hey, you're black, there's nothing you can do about it. Everybody puts their group first. Everybody except black folks. And that's why blacks, they fall for this, we're in this together crapola. That's crap. Because if we were in this together, you would have X amount of people unemployed, X amount of unemployed Latinos in Los Angeles, X amount of unemployed blacks in Los Angeles, and X amount of unemployed whites in Los Angeles, and X amount of unemployed Asians in Los Angeles. It wouldn't be just a disproportionate number of blacks unemployed in Los Angeles. Yes, there's systematic racism. I believe in that. Nonetheless, we have, it is, how do I want to put it? It's like we've taken that too far. We've taken that too far, and we also talked about it in the 60s. Well, hey, Ted hasn't called in yet, so I'm going to say anyone can call in, since he hasn't called in yet. Anyone can call in who's a black Trump supporter. Ted will just have to get in when he can get in. But let's see, do I have everything set so people can call in? Yes. So the number again is 323, let's see, 323-522-5899. And so I'd like black Trump supporters to call in and explain to me, why do you support Donald Trump as your president? Why did you vote for him? Why do you support him? So I put that number out there, and let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Let me look at my bullet points. Did I say that I want you guys to support the show? Because this show is your show. The Kathleen Wells is your show. The Kathleen Wells is a place where you can go and get information, where you can go and get data, where you can go and learn that here, we have a call now. Very good. Hello. Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. My name is Robin Bannon, and I'm calling in. I was actually waiting for Ted to come on the line, and here's what's going on with your conversation. And since you didn't call, I'm like, well, I'm calling.
Sounds good to me. And I think he's calling now, actually. But that's okay.
It's okay. I can wait.
No, we're going to go with you since you've called in. Okay? So let's hear what you have to say.
I was listening to your opening monologue. In our house, we call it a rant, and I love a good rant. And everything that you said was just absolutely on point. I appreciate your realness and your love for the black community, that you haven't given up, that you actually see that there are issues out there. And when you kept saying, doing the same thing over and over and over again, I was like, that's the definition of insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And it is absolute insanity. I'm actually in Arizona, but I'm from Chicago. And I'm a life coach, I'm a leadership educator, and I'm retired Air Force. And there are things that just absolutely I did not understand as far as electing President Obama the first time. It was like a religious movement that was going on in Chicago, because I was in Chicago at the time. And I just said that I'm sorry, 2.5 years as a senator is not a president made. It was a very pragmatic statement, and man, did I get cussed out for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as time progressed, I saw exactly why 2.5 years as a senator is not a president made. Because if it had been anybody else with the same qualifications, he wouldn't have been elected. He was literally elected because of the color of his skin. So fast forward to 2016, and we have a kind of an American success story in the White House. And one of the reasons why I absolutely support Trump, among others, is that I don't think that anything that I say will be able to be twisted back at me like there's something wrong with me anymore. Does that make sense?
No, explain it a little further.
Well, it just seemed that during the previous administration, or previous two terms, I would say, okay, I can just say theoretically, if I say that something was black, well, no, it's white. Well, if I say something is white, well, no, it's black. There are things that had to be, there are so many things that had to be twisted to make them make sense, to make it okay that we were still following this administration.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that things that Obama's doing great things for black people, but we're regressing.
Right.
And we're regressing rapidly, yet we are making excuses. What is this loyalty for? What is your loyalty to your own family, to yourself, to the ideals that I know that your grandma and your grandpa taught you?
Self-preservation. Where's your drive for self-preservation?
Absolutely, and I think that anybody who is functioning at their at peak levels, they never would have expected that. I think it was a level of desperation, and I was kind of thankful that we had the last administration because one of the things that we had to see was it's not going to take another person to make life right for you. That's something that you have to do for yourself. But at the very least, there needs to be someone that's in the highest office in the land that's not going to interfere. There was so much interference with us doing the right thing for ourselves.
And actually, I think that, we must have a black politics. That means that the policies coming out of D.C. have to be beneficial for black America, or we're just not going to be a part, we're not going to be in that circus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We become, because of everything that we've gone through in the last 400 plus years, we've become broken and we don't know who we are. We don't seem to know who we are, because if we did, half the battle would be won. That way nobody would be able to tell us. They would not be able to tell us who we are.
But I think that we were on our way during the Civil Rights era, and the Black Power. We were on our way, and then that was like a sleight of hand. It was like a trick box, because during the 70s, that's when immigration started. But for the Civil Rights Movement, we wouldn't have massive immigration from non-European countries. And as soon as we got the Civil Rights Act, it was like then that's when this influx of massive immigration started to just leave us at that lower tier of the rung. It was this intentional thing. We thought it was a good thing, but it wasn't. And I think more.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
And then and the war on poverty and all of that. One of the things that Ted is going to talk about, because I've actually been under his tutelage for the last year, and I am not the same person I was at the time last year, Ms. Kathleen. I am not. And one of the things that he talks about, and the things that we study on Monday evening, is the Civil Rights Act of 1866. See, the Civil Rights era is marked that way in history, but we had amazing, incredible, powerful civil rights written into law and codified into the Constitution in the 1860s.
Mm-hmm.
All of that happened, and it's so amazing, but nobody knows about it. Nobody knows that the 14th Amendment was written for us, for the descendants of chattel slaves. And then the 14th Amendment is being abused today by others for whom it was never written or intended.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's the kind of stuff we need to know. That's what I mean. When I say we don't know who we are, Ms. Kathleen, we do not know who we are. We're like super citizens and don't even know it.
Right, and let me tell you, the black politicians lead us astray. They led us straight to the abyss. 50 years of black politicians and black talking heads and black folks in the media and black activists have led us straight to the abyss. So,
Amen.
yeah, they're not informing us because they're in the back pocket of the powers that be, the elite, or the establishment. They're not here for Black America, and so it's become a big joke, and I can't take it anymore, to be honest with you.
And you don't have to. You're going to be uniting people. I can see it. Right? Because other people are tired too. It's just like, something in the milk ain't clean. Something is just not right here.
It's not right.
It isn't. It absolutely isn't. And it kind of reminds me of the hierarchy of the, and I hate to go here, but it reminds me of the hierarchy of the plantation. What you just described to me reminds me of the plantation overseer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, and so there are amazing things that are happening. I think that there are people that are waking up all over the country. That last thing was supposed to be the big thing, the last administration, but it didn't work. There's a reason why we're in a worse position today than we were then, and it is time for us to start waking up. But would it have happened had we not gone through the pain and been left in the wake of the last administration?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that woke me up because I thought I got really involved with the Obama administration, and I started to look at politics critically and being very interested in it. So it got me interested, and then also getting the radio show. So I got very involved, and I think a lot of that all of this social media stuff, people are interested in politics like never before.
Amen. And politics as it actually is. I think that sometimes there were so many people who were so terribly upset when President Trump was elected, and it was almost as if they believed we elected a king and not a public servant.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of that kind of put into perspective these strong feelings, that the whole world is coming to an end. How can that be?
Mm-hmm.
How can the whole world be coming to an end? We didn't elect a king.
Mm-hmm. And
what do you think we had before?
And actually, having Trump lets you, when you, as I said before yesterday, when you get outside the matrix, when you stop watching MSNBC and CNN religiously and buying everything that they sell and swallowing it, everything that they push, when you stop that and get outside the matrix, you really see things from a different perspective.
I have to tell you that I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I got goosebumps because you used the analogy of the Matrix. That is probably one of my absolute favorite and most powerful visuals is the Matrix. And it's, do you want to take the red pill or do you want to take the blue pill? You take the blue pill and you go ahead thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be. You take the red pill and you go down the rabbit hole. And it sounds like that's exactly where you went, because you were talking very passionately about the facts. Show me the facts. Everybody else wants to talk about feelings. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the facts, because the facts lead where they lead, don't they?
Right.
Oh, I'm so thankful for you.
You can't deny the facts. And let me tell you, all those black folks, I just want to call in and say, because I do call into Washington Journal, but I've never said that, and I've been very tipper. I listen, I felt like calling in and saying, listen, I'm black, and all these black folks calling into Washington Journal are embarrassing me. And they and they need to stop calling because they're an utter embarrassment. That's what, I feel like calling. I might try it, but I know when you say something like that, they'll like immediately cut me off. You know what I mean?
I know, because you started stuff. Oh, but I definitely don't want to hold up your line, because I get the feeling I could talk to you for hours. It feels so good to be here in this space and to know that I'm not alone. I'm so grateful for technology.
Yeah,
but it gets to feeling that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And I want you guys to help me help us, and that means I'm going to put a Patreon box when this is downloaded to my YouTube channel, I'd like you to
Uh-huh.
share it and like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to ask that of all of us because I'm here for you and we have to work together and help us make this a forum that is, a big deal. But anyway, I see Ted is
Absolutely.
calling now, and I'm going to let you go, and I appreciate you calling, and I'm going to take Ted now, okay?
So glad to be here, and I'll keep listening.
Thank you. Hello? Hello? Oh, I missed Ted's call. Let's hope, let's see. Ted, I missed your call. Let's hope you call back. And let's see, this is when, because I haven't gotten everything perfect. I just started using the Spreaker Studio. So I see that Ted just called in. So why don't we have people call, when the other person is getting ready to hang up, one call at a time. We can do it that way. How does that sound? Do you like that idea? Until I figure out how to take multiple calls or something like that. That's the thing. I want to set up like a professional studio where I can take multiple calls. I need to get a mixer, things like that. That's okay. I don't need to tell you all the details, but let's take this to the next level. So I was 4 years at terrestrial radio, which is KCAA, and so now I'm on Spreaker, which is like a podcast. Now, I think this isn't Ted, but I'm going to take this call anyway. Hello, welcome to the Kathleen Wells Show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, this is Tariq.
Oh, hi, Tariq. How are you? You're one of my Facebook buddies.
Hey, good. I just listened to your show and I love it. Just want to give you just a little comment on why I support Trump.
Okay, sounds good.
For me, I got into politics after 9/11. Because my background is, my dad is a Muslim, my mom and dad is a Muslim. So I was living in Saudi Arabia when 9/11 took place. And my dad kind of educated me on foreign policy and things of that nature. So I kind of had this view since 2008. And when I was watching the presidential elections, when Obama was running for the first time, and then Ron Paul was running on the Republican end, and then we had Dennis Kucinich, Mike Lavelle on the Democrats, and then we also had some pretty good third-party candidates like Cynthia McKinney, and they were all on the whole, anti-war, aiding the Federal Reserve. So that's the type of person I am. That's the type of people I kind of gravitate toward. I notice usually the people that I gravitate towards is the people that the media doesn't like. If you look, now I'm not entirely sure who you supported back in that time, but if you look at the if you look at how the media behaves with people they don't like, they kind of just give them less airtime, or they just find some type of backstory about them. Like I remember they were trying to call it Ron Paul racist because of his newsletter. He didn't actually sign it, but somebody wrote something racist in it, and it was attributed to him. Similar to how they are doing Trump right now. So Donald Trump, he comes in the arena. At first, I didn't really too much care for him, but when he said, hey, let's talk to Russia, I'm thinking, well, hey, I mean, looking at Obama's policy and listening to Hillary Clinton, we're close to World War III. I like that about him. And then when he went to the Republican Jewish, convention, was really when he said, I'm being neutral on the Palestinian and Israel issue. And then when they started booing him, he said, well, y'all are just booing me because I don't take your money. That's fine. So I kind of like that he kind of thumbs his nose at the power structure. I also like this policy on legal immigration because I look at this from a black perspective. I don't see any benefit towards black people with illegal immigration at all. Also, with jobs going overseas and looking at the black condition, we don't have any jobs, which is causing a lot of crime. So, when you put all these things in together, I support Trump. And then, as you know, it was obvious that the media was all of a sudden going to go out and all out offensive. Like I've never seen the media attack somebody like they attacked Trump. I mean, they wouldn't dug in anything. I mean, even that video, it was a very vulgar video with him in his locker room talk. I mean, it's just like they did everything they could to try to take this man down. But yeah, that's the main reason why I voted for Trump. I wanted to see someone, go against the power structure that's just keeping everyone just ignorant of anything.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening. In other words, you looked at the issues as opposed to your feelings. And that's what politics is supposed to be about. Issues. And economic issues are the primary issues. You looked at the economic issues as opposed to your feelings about his hair or his feelings about how he interacts with his wife, Melania, the First Lady. You looked at the issues. Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy when people jump on my status about Obama and they're just like, look at this beautiful family. I mean, I don't care if this family's good. I don't care if people are starving on the streets, I mean, people are living economic. I don't care if you have a nice family. I don't, it's just, the thing is, I think what happened to black people, because we really don't have our own media, is that the media kind of caters to our hyper emotional behavior. I mean, black people aren't really challenged, especially as to why we support Democrats. I mean, if you look at our media, and you never see an African American call out another. I mean, it's extremely rare. Call out another African American as to why they support Obama. Right. Or anything Democrat. You never see it. In fact, anytime I see an African American come in the news, it's always from a pro-liberal or Democrat perspective. I was watching Fox News today, and they was having talking about how Trump was going to defund sanctuary cities, and they got this black guy over there, and he's talking about Trump needs to hurry to come up with a comprehensive immigration reform and try to meet the illegal immigrants, midway. It's just frustrating. Like, the only way we even come to this thinking is because a lot of us have been socially programmed to behave this way. And I think it's like this so we can keep voting these Democrats in. It's almost like mind control. And you're right. They do paint the Republicans as the enemy to try to get us afraid to even approach them with anything reasonable. And I was telling my friend that black people don't wake up these 4 years and we go back to just voting Democrats. I think that I don't see any future for us, to be honest with you. I don't see it. I think the political parties are just going to look at us as a joke. As it doesn't matter what the Republicans do, black people are going to always object to it. And then when the Democrat comes in, we're just going to go to sleep. If we fail these 4 years, I don't see anything else waking us up. I think this is it.
Yeah,
I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but it looks that way.
No, it isn't. It isn't. In fact, Dr. Claude Anderson talked about the fact that we're going to be a permanent underclass. But hey, listen, there's an article in the Los Angeles Times it was Friday that says black folks are facing a job crisis in Los Angeles. That is. Wow. Do you realize how telling that is? That's like after 8 years of Obama and massive illegal immigration for 35 years, now black folks are facing a job crisis. As if we haven't been here for 400 years, decades working and slaving and tears, sweat, blood, all that. So, and in fact, that's one of the things that Ted Hayes says, the activist, that he's not going to call now because I know he has something to do at 6, but he'll maybe do my show later. But the thing of it, that's one of the things that he talks about is that if Hillary got in office, they would have finished us off. We would have been done. We would have been a permanent underclass. I'm telling you, there'd be nothing for us. And in fact, I saw some data today. I heard some data today that said that 38% of the jobs in 15 years will be automated. That's 4 in 10 jobs. Wow. But for Trump and his position on illegal immigration, him getting rid of TPP, him explicitly making clear that he is for all Americans, okay, America first. He's made that explicitly clear. He's focused on Black America, specifically in many of his talks, the New Deal for Black America. And let me tell you, these Black talking heads, these celebrities, I can't remember, T.I., Snoop Dogg, I want to tell you their names, that they have no idea what they're talking about. And we need to stop listening to these buffoons, these clowns. These are their, it's like projection. Everything that they say about Trump, that's them, okay? That's them. Because how is it not racism to have a group of people vote for you for 60 years and they are regressing? That group is regressing.
Exactly.
How is that not racism?
Exactly. No, I totally agree. The Democrats, they never did. I don't think they never liked this. It's almost like it really is like a master slave relationship. Black people are just, to me, they're just being pimped. I mean, they just throw us crumbs and say a bunch of nice things about us, maybe dance and, do a little black lingo. But, when it comes to policy, they never put any policy forth. I mean, even when you're watching the Hillary Clinton campaign, I don't think she's ever addressed African American issues and put in any policies. I mean, she'll say something vague like, white people need to look at how blacks are treated by the police, things of that nature. But she would never, put forth any type of plan, any type of economic plan. I always tell black people, the Democrats didn't tell you why illegal immigration is good for you. What is it about that? Because it's not just this whole kumbaya, we all run. I mean, I don't care about that. Even illegals don't care about that kumbaya, we all the world. They care about their interests. Mexicans who vote, who are for La Raza and the whole Democrat, they're looking out for Mexican interests. They're not looking for this whole kumbaya stuff. They don't care about that. And we're the only ones doing that.
We're the only ones that do that, and that's human nature. It's self-preservation. That you want your group to persevere, to sustain itself. And you cannot sustain yourself when you are homeless on the street. You cannot sustain yourself. You're dependent and reliant upon programs to help you.
Yeah, it's really, I'm like you, because sometimes when I start thinking about it, I sit in my car and I just get angry and angry because it's like, why can't people see this? I mean, it's just so clear. But then again, I realize a lot of it is just this social programming, like how you said about T.I. and Snoop Dogg, how they're just coming out saying some really, making some really bellicose statements about Donald Trump and, Snoop Dogg making a mock video of him, shooting Donald Trump. All this is just designed to keep us emotional. It's not designed to keep us thinking. They're not even saying what's wrong with his policies. They're just saying the same thing that me and you see on Facebook and same thing about Trump. Trump. That is just, like you said, it's really childish.
It's childish.
I'm not saying, what's wrong with Trump?
Yeah, it's like you're 12 years old in the 5th grade or 10 years old in the 5th grade. And in fact, I downloaded one of my, I had that advertisement or marketing thing for the Black Trump supporters, and I saw this dude, he commented on it, and he was like, you B, B, he had to call me a B, you know what I mean? And it's like, you B, you licking his, it's like, shut up! It's like, you're like 6 years old.
High school today.
Right, that is like, you're like 10 years old. You are a grown man, and you're talking to me like this. You're talking to a woman like you're a little girl in elementary school. It's very distasteful. Grow up.
Like the comments I've seen, like just, sucking on the genitals, it's just really, there's no rebuttal of what you're saying about data. You are never going to get any rebuttal about data. It's always going to be, like you said, just a personal attack to try to. It's almost just because they have nothing else, they cannot win the argument. And if you don't know nothing about the topic, shut up. Like, why would you jump on or even open your mouth about a topic that you don't know unless there's some type of strong emotional attachment? Like, I honestly think that there is some type of strong emotional attachment with black people and the Democrats that causes black people to comment on things that they don't know anything about and effectively become surrogates of the Democrats, where they can just sit back and be quiet and watch black people attack other black people for thinking logically about the situation or saying something intelligent or maybe coming up with a new idea, you have to face down your own people that's going to just jump on you. I mean, look what happened to Chrisette Michelle. She was just trying to sing at Trump's concert, or the Steve Harvey was trying to meet Trump. Like, we just sat there and we just denounced them and, called for people to boycott Steve Harvey shows. It's just ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous. And it's like group think. It's like we all got to think alike. Honey, I don't want to think like you guys that are thinking like that, okay? I can think better than that. But it's like, it's like this group thing. And, it's actually the white liberals have gotten us in this because white liberals will do the same thing. They'll call you, oh, you're a sellout.
Oh, heck yeah.
I bet you wear your hair. Yeah. I've had women say this, white liberals say this to me. I know you wear your hair in a weave, and I know you have on light skin contacts. It's like, what? And even back then, what does that have to do with anything? We're talking politics here, honey. Get with the program. They don't know what the heck is going on. They go to character assassination. But, I notice the media does the same thing. They character assassinate people.
Oh, big time. White liberals, I think that's why a lot of us are like that, because white liberals are like that, too. And I think that's something that white people are going to have to deal with as well. The white liberal faction. Because they even got black people worried about transgender issues. And this is something that we've never really talked about. I mean, it's not even an issue. It's just, there's no data behind it. It's just so feeling like they're the opposite sex, and now we're fighting for rights. It's just so ridiculous that this is now a topic of conversation in the black community. It's just, we have gone so far down.
We've gone really far down.
Democrats. It's just like now we're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with us.
Right, and I
so
think...
what if presidents have rights? How is that going to change black people's position?
Well, I think they've incarcerated or killed all our the majority of our strong black men. I believe that.
Yeah.
Because I think strong black men would not be interested in these issues. They would say, hey, hold up a minute. No, they bring other issues to the table, presumably economic issues. But what's left? What we got left now in Black America are guys that are, they're pushing this non-gender business.
Oh man, it angers me the most when I see black men on TV just act very emotional. It just angers me because I look at them as you're supposed to be the rock, and look at you, you're acting like the world's about to end. Like when I see Van Jones or Charles Blow, and they just start acting really hysterical. It really just angers me, and even our black celebrities, because it's like y'all are acting so weak right now. Y'all just, it's just disgusting.
It's very unattractive. It's very unattractive, and you're absolutely right. Van Jones, if you're out there, you, and Charles Blow, you. He's so arrogant, and he's they're so feminine. They're so wrapped up in their feelings. They never discuss data.
Weak.
It's weak.
It just angers me. That's what I'm glad you are doing this show, and it's maybe one of the African Americans who listen to the show will probably have feeling it, English NBC listeners will probably call into the show to speak with those guys and tell them, because they do not represent the black community at all. It may seem that way because those are the only people that get on TV. But they really don't. And it's sad that a lot of, what they're saying, because that's the only thing black people are hearing is what the white liberals say. And you're right, they're not going on Fox News. And not that I like Fox News. I'm not really, I listen to both sides, but I'm trying to do my own independent research. I listen to independent media. And the thing is, I know Fox News, when it comes to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump takes a hardcore anti-war stance. I'm pretty sure Fox News is going to be against them, but we'll see. That remains to be seen. But what you said is right. A lot of our people cannot listen to the opposition.
They don't
for a
even
different
listen.
point of view.
Yeah, you know, because
Exactly.
because you see, I'm open to getting different perspectives. I'm open to many perspectives. I don't just listen to. I've listened to MSNBC, CNN. I see what
Yep.
they have to offer, and so let me now go see what Fox has to offer, and let me go see what RT has to offer, and let me go see what some of
Yep.
these underground stations on YouTube has to offer, and let me go see what Bill Still has to offer, and let me go see what Dick Morris has to offer, and let me go see what Lionel. I'm looking at it all. I'm looking at it
Yep.
all. But when you talk to a white liberal, they're like, "Oh no, that source. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't even look at it." It's like, well, you're a closed-minded person. And one of the things that I remember my father always said to me, always be open-minded. Being open-minded is a sign of intelligence. My father told me that, and I know my father gave me the best advice. That's the bottom line.
You are absolutely right. You know, my dad told me that the same way. He was the one that woke me up on politics. It's strange that we're talking about fathers. And the funny thing is, you know, we listen to the Republican Party, and they talk about the black community. They do talk about the importance of family. But when you listen to the Democrats, I don't hear a word about the importance of man, woman, and child, and marriage, and children being raised in two-parent homes. You know, they're just always talking about, you know, welfare and you can do it by yourself. And that is really destructive towards the black community. Like, we should be talking about man, woman, and child, not every man and woman for themselves. Is ridiculous.
Right. We should be talking about man, woman, and child. The family is the most fundamental aspect to upward mobility and success and opportunity. And I wouldn't be who I am today but for my father. Period. That's the end of the story. And you have all people that will go back and forth with you debating this stuff. And it's like, we just got to move on and move on up. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. It shouldn't even be a debate, black is just the way, like I read the status, is the way the Democrats destroyed the black community, the black family, and got us stuck on welfare and if Hillary would have won just a little bit more welfare.
And she wouldn't have given amnesty to all these illegal immigrants or work permits.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we're already smothered here in Los Angeles by illegal immigrants. We don't need more of it. It's not personal. It's just economics.
I live in Texas, and we have a lot of illegal immigrants down here as well. And I really don't understand what the black community is thinking. When you look at our neighborhoods, it's ran by a lot of foreign immigrants, but the thing is also, as a business, would rather hire a legal immigrant over you because they don't have to pay them as much as you. They don't have to pay their benefits. They are, it's much more savings to the buck to hire them over African American. And it's just, when you think about your lower income brothers and sisters and you want them to do well, they should not have to compete with any illegals. Why would we want to advocate that? It just makes no sense. Why would we advocate that?
So that lets you know, they used to say, you would hear people say, oh, they do the jobs that Americans don't want to do. That's a lie. Listen, when you have to base all your arguments on falsehoods, half-truths, and lies, out-and-out fabrications, you have no argument. And that's why the Democrats, to me, they are a losing proposition. And let's hope they dissipate into the sun, right off into the sunset. Where we
they need to. I mean, if you look at the media, they are, oh my God, they want this man out. They want him impeached. It's not we're going to work with Trump. They want him out. I mean, because everything he's doing is so anti-status quo. I mean, it's angering me that they're trying everything to block his measures. I mean, I'm not too crazy about the immigration bill, but I don't see that as a Muslim ban. But, they're just pulling out all these measures to just be anti-Trump. Even his Supreme Court pick, the Democrats are talking about filibustering it. I mean, they want this man out. Macklemore, Tim Wise, all these white liberals, Hollywood, you cannot say one good thing about Trump. Otherwise, you may lose your movie deal, your music deal. These people want this man impeached. It's crazy. I've never seen this. Like,
they
people got to realize.
So that lets you know he's a real threat to the system.
Exactly.
And that's a good thing, because when has the system ever worked for black Americans? That's a good thing. Exactly. So I don't know why black people can't think straight. They're propagandized. They're not thinking at all. They're feeling.
Not at all.
Yeah, they're feeling. And feelings are fleeting. Come and go, come and go. That's why the divorce rate. Was that you that put something about the divorce rate? I think it was you or James on Facebook. I forgot who it was. But the divorce rate is so high in Black America. It's ridiculous. Oh.
Yeah, no, you are totally right. And, you're absolutely right about the thinking because, I always try to compare and contrast why if Obama was, because they always say, well, he's a black man and they don't do well, then why wasn't he a threat to the system? Why didn't the system actively try to throw him out? Why was he being praised? I mean, it's almost as if you think black people can't sell out. Like,
right.
Obama was.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, Obama put us to sleep. Even when you look at this, I can't think of one economic policy, foreign policy. The only thing I liked, the one thing I liked that he did foreign-wise was make that peace deal with Iran. But that's about it. That's the only thing. The guy almost took us into war in Syria. Had it not been for Russia to come up with that deal with the Syrians to dismantle the chemical weapons, we almost would have hit into war in Syria. And for what? And this stuff is costly. This money could be used rebuilding black neighborhoods, rebuilding our infrastructure, putting more money for our education center. None of that. None of that is used for the black community. And then Obama gets up in front of the black people in the world, we're going to give the Syrian rebels $500 million in aid. I mean, every African American should have been sent into that. Like, what about us?
Right.
Well, how are you going to give them money? You're not giving us nothing.
Right.
Like, it's just that whole, like you're right, not understanding anything about politics.
Exactly.
Therefore, you cannot come to that conclusion.
Right. Well, Tariq, I want to give. In fact, let me just say, this is the new system, the new and improved Kathleen Wells Show, and I'm doing it through Spreaker.com. But I don't have all the technical difficulties figured out yet. So I'm going to put out a call for the next person to call in. I'll put it out now, and then when they call in, then I'll let you go. Okay, how does that sound?
Okay, sure. Is somebody calling in now?
No, not yet. But when they do, I'll let you know, and then we can go to the next call. So we can keep talking until it's the next call calls in. So next caller, call in, and the call-in number is 323-522-5899. So we can keep talking, if you like, until the next caller. Okay, sounds good.
Okay. No, yeah. It's just and I remember one of these Obama speeches. You guys forgive me, I can't remember the date, but I remember when he told black people to stop complaining and keep marching. And I don't know if it was. Do you remember that?
No.
And somebody took issue with it. It wasn't Cornel West. It was I think Tavis Smiley. I think it was him. It was one of them. But they were like, Obama would never tell the Jewish community to stop complaining and keep marching, or the LGBT community to stop complaining and keep marching. But the fact that he told us that, it almost shows that everyone knows that they could say anything to us, and there's not going to be a reaction. It's just, no one's going to say anything.
Well, they're actually very insulting. They insult my intelligence. They insult my intelligence. And if they don't insult other black people's intelligence, I have to question their intelligence.
The thing is, and I'm the type of person, I'm just like you, I don't like my intelligence being insulted. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm stupid. Like, I'm not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's funny because, even white people, these white liberals, they are getting so, comfortable with black people. They see a black Trump supporter, they say stuff like, how could you as a black person support Donald Trump? As if I'm supposed to owe my loyalty to the Democrats.
Right.
Like, where do you get off even saying that?
Right. Like, I owe you an explanation about what I do.
Exactly. I don't owe you nothing. I don't got to explain it. And me being black has absolutely nothing to do with it. I can think but It's just that they can say things like that because they see the trend and how stuck we are on the Democrats. And the thing is, I like what you're doing and Yvette is doing and other people similar. I mean, we got to start calling out the Democrats. I don't even talk bad about Republicans anymore because our people are so drunk on the Democrat Kool-Aid. We got to break them out of that first before we can even get into these complex conversations. You know, we can't even get, you know, we can't talk about the Federal Reserve. We can't talk about anything as long as we're stuck on these Democrats and bashing Trump all day. It's not going to help black people wake up. It's going to cater to the emotions, cater to their fear, and cater to why they need to stick with the Democrats. And it's crazy. They think if Trump is impeached, as if they want Trump impeached as if the corrupt system is going to put some utopian person who understands black issues in power. And that's not the case.
Right.
It's like, you got to understand how special interests work, Wall Street works. They never have the people. I don't even think they even have white people's interests. Maybe the white elite for the poor white. I don't think they have anyone's interest but the corporate interest in their mind. And it's just like, I feel like we're siding with these people.
Right.
Because a lot of it's very emotional.
Yeah, we're siding with the enemy. It's diabolical.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And I don't have any use for it. Yeah. And the black, and all these black establishment folks and all these celebrities and black talking heads, they're an embarrassment. And someone needs to tell them. That's why we have to develop our own independent media. Everyone's getting away from mainstream media and developing their own platforms. We have lost everything. Black America only owns 0.5% of the wealth of this nation. Well, you know what? Now I have a call, Tariq, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, is this Liz?
Yes, it is.
Thanks, Liz, for calling in. I appreciate it. Tell us why you support Trump.
Well, as we talked about before, it's not so much even about supporting Trump. It's about supporting policy. It's about supporting change. And I think that if you're really about supporting change, you're going to support Trump. And I thought about it in my whole mindset of, what if one day I wanted to run for president, or my son wanted to run for president, if Hillary Clinton would have been selected the way that she was, because it wasn't about, it wasn't about the American people. They were saying it's her turn, not the American people's turn, to actually get policies put in place that helped us. It was her turn to rule the nation, to come up with her own policies to dictate to us. So I thought about the long-term future of my son or my daughter who may want to run for president, or if I want to run for president. I wouldn't have that choice if Hillary Clinton would have won, because her supporters support the fact that she was elected or selected by a rigged primary. And if they support a rigged primary, they're going to support a rigged election. And they wanted to support a rigged election. They wanted to have Trump overturned in the election. And if you're going to support it one time, you're going to have to support it all the time. So it was really about
Liz, I missed that call. I was going to put you on hold and tell them to call back, but I missed it. That's okay. Sorry. You can keep going.
No, it's okay.
No, you can keep going.
So for the long term, the long term of looking at what the black community has been going through, what people in the nation had to go through, going through a rigged primary, and economics. Donald Trump's the only one talking about economics, while, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton was saying everything was okay. So I couldn't support someone who wasn't speaking a business mind, who wasn't talking about the future of the black community and all America, how we're going to come out of this mentality of thinking that, everything is going to be given to us, and that, welfare is the best option for our economics when it isn't. We need to move forward. We're getting left behind when it comes to politics, when it comes
Oh, wait, let me
to
put you on hold.
finances.
Let me put you on hold. Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Kathleen.
Who is this?
Yes, Kathleen.
Yeah.
This is Jesse.
Who?
This is Jesse.
Oh, hi, Jesse. Can you call back in 10 minutes? I'm going to go back to Liz. And then if you call back in 10 minutes,
Yeah.
that sounds good, Jesse. Okay, thank you. Call back in 10
Yes,
minutes.
bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, hi. Wait, I think I lost. Did I lose Liz? Yeah, I think I lost Liz. Oh, I lost Liz. Let me go back. I did that wrong. Okay, so I did that wrong. I lost Liz. Liz, if you can hear me, call back in. And then Jesse, call back in 10 minutes. So, Liz, I'm sorry I lost you. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Typical. I mean, I'm not tech savvy. That's okay. That's okay. But I'm giving it I'm giving it a go. I'm giving it a good go. I'm giving it my best. Believe me, we're going to make this happen. We're going to build something here. And that's why I need you guys to support me so that I can give you something that's valuable, that you can say that you have a media platform, that is providing Black Americans and Americans in general with information that is contradicting or negating the mainstream media. Information that is informing you as to what is really taking place. We can no longer rely on the mainstream media. We can no longer rely on the information. Oh, what do they call it? Fake news, alternative facts, fake news. The mainstream media. Okay, and an example is this issue about the Russia connection with Trump. And the issue about Trump tweeting about the wiretapping. How what is the word I'm looking for? They literally hair split everything that the Republicans do, everything that Trump does. Because I'm not, I'm against the establishment. And I can't imagine why any Democrat, any Black person would be for the establishment. How has the establishment treated Black Americans? That's the question. Anyway, let's see. I accidentally, Liz, if you're out there, please call back in. I'm sorry I accidentally disconnected you. And then Jesse, if you could call back in like 7 minutes. I guess we're doing it right. Let's see. I'm reading in the chat room. James Brown says that Russian bovine excrement needs to stop. That's funny, right? Oh, you guys, I really appreciate you guys being in the chat room. There are a few of you in the chat room. I appreciate it. Let's see some of the other things that are written. I'll read them to you. Okay? Let's see. I can't even figure out how to scroll up. Wait. Oh, here we go. So, James Brown says there's 30 to 40 illegal immigrants in the USA. They're illegal aliens and they need to go. Then James Brown also says that the Congressional Black Caucus is a joke. Now, isn't that the truth? Do you remember all the hoopla over who was it? Representative John Lewis, who refused to attend the inauguration. Why? Why? Shouldn't Black folks, this is about power. This is about economic. How do you have power? How do you have power? You have power if you are economically empowered. It's about money. We live in a capitalist society. Why wouldn't we need President Trump represents? He's the head of the country. He's got all the power. He makes all the decisions. Who wouldn't want to have a seat at that table with power? Maybe you can get some policies effectuated that would influence Black America in a positive way. You sure aren't going to get anything positive from the Black churches, because I tried. I had the schools when I had my radio show with KCAA. I had the Schools Not Prisons initiative. You can go on my YouTube channel and hear some of those commentaries, testimonies I had about the Schools Not Prisons initiative. And I contacted many churches, Crenshaw Christian Center, Holman Methodist Church. I mean, they'll sit down and talk with you a little bit here and there, but you don't get one penny. You don't get one penny because I needed that program sponsored. I needed that program sponsored because I wanted to have it out there, blasted out there in the media. I have to pay the guys that are giving the testimony. It's just truth needs to be financed too, right? Lies are financed, so the truth needs to be financed. I think we as a people don't realize the importance of media. Some people, and we don't realize the importance. And then when I say media, I'm also including Hollywood. I'm also including movies, and I'm also the music industry. These things have an impact on us, either subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously. They impact us. This is why I don't want to get into black men, black women relationships. I really don't want to get in that. But the fact that now you have, when I looked on the comment section of my YouTube channel, and you now have black guys calling black women the B word. They didn't do that when I was young, when I was in my 20s. That's unheard of. But now, like in Hip Hop Atlanta, it's cool, or it's women refer to themselves as the B word. So now men refer to women as the B word. I don't even want to say it, right? I know I probably sound childish saying the B word, right? But anyway, let's see. I want to continue. I lost Elizabeth, not intentionally, but I lost her because that was an accident. Let me see. So someone, I'm going to give out the call-in number. You can call in again. This is a marathon, Black Trump supporters. I'm not going to go off until people stop calling. So I'm hoping people will continue to call in. The call-in number is 323-522-5899. So that's the call-in number. As I said, I accidentally let, I got to figure out what I'm going to do about these multiple calls, right? We'll get it together. Don't worry. We'll get it together. I'm not pessimistic about it. I feel optimistic that I'll get it together. It just takes time. Everything takes time. And so let me get back to the fact that I want you guys to support this show so that we can build something, okay? That means liking it and sharing it and, taking it to your social media. Okay, so now I have a call. Oh, I think this is Liz. Hello, Liz. I'm sorry. I'm glad you called back. I accidentally lost you.
This is not Liz.
Oh. I'm so sorry. See, I got to get more organized. Who am
No, you're good.
Welcome to the Kathleen Wells Show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I was just showing my support. This is Mario Henley.
Oh, hi, Mario. You're on my Facebook page.
Yep. And I think I sent you and James Brown and a couple of on the Black Conservative group, because I said maybe we can kind of get together as far as being a part of a group, Black Conservative group, where we won't have too many crazy liberals attacking us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As far as my post, and I said, well, let's kind of get out of the group going on.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, and I want the Kathleen Wells Show to be a place where we can all sort of commiserate and gather and talk about our issues. I want to start something like this, I want to build something like this.
I think it's a good idea because it'll bring more awareness, and hopefully we can wake up the sheep.
I know, because too many people are sleeping, right?
Way too many. Because I mentioned this to James Brown a couple of days ago, because me and him talk from time to time on the phone. I told him that I didn't even know it was that serious, because I had a couple of friends that I graduated from school that deleted me off of Facebook just because of my political views.
You're like, you didn't know it was that. It's like, is it that serious?
Yeah, like I'm really making them mad. The only people that really starting to kind of open up a little bit towards what I'm talking about is, believe it or not, the last people I ever thought that would open up to this was my mom and dad. Like, they really like staying glued in, but I told them, don't let the news be your only source, mainstream media. I said, you really have to go through social media. Not saying that everything is always
Accurate.
actual real news, because you got a lot of fake news on social media, but you kind of got to dig through it and, kind of sort through it to kind of see what sounds a little bit more accurate compared to what they're saying on, CNN and then now 60 Minutes, talking about be careful with fake news on the internet and be careful with the Pizzagate thing, because that's not real. But I was telling my dad the other day, I told him that, well, just because it's 60 Minutes don't mean that it's real news. I said 60 Minutes gives fake news sometimes too.
They're corporate media. They're corporatized. So the question I have for you, Mario, is tell us why you support Donald Trump, President Trump.
The reason why I'm supporting Donald Trump, because originally I wasn't going to do it. I voted Democratic all my life, but originally I always did like Donald Trump because I always saw him as a businessman and then a celebrity man, but I liked his mindset because I know he used to support different types of business as far as multi-level marketing, which is a whole different thing, but when he started running for president, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a joke, and I didn't research it, and I was just like, please. And that was supposed to be the year where I said, I'm done with this, I'm not going to vote. Because when I first started voting, I voted originally for, when I got old enough to vote, it was when John Kerry and Bush was running. And then when Obama came, I got excited, just like everybody else, because who don't want to see a black president in office? And when I found out the real deal with Obama, I was just like, I'm not voting no more because they're a puppet. But what caught me was when my casting director, who's a Trump supporter, told me, and was just like, she told me that President Trump is he brought his own campaign. It wasn't paid for. And that's when she got my attention. I was like, you lying. And she said, no, for real. So when I started researching that, piece and bits by pieces, that's when my views started to change. And I said, you know what, I think you're on something. And some of the things that he was saying that I kept quiet about to myself was this illegal immigration issue. And because I've been saying that for years to like some of my friends and even my sister. My sister kind of accepted it after a while because we're like in New Jersey. I'm originally from the South. I'm from South Carolina, but me and my sister moved up here.
Yeah, I know what that Southern accent. I was like, that's not a New Jersey accent,
It's not. It's country. But I'm gonna say this real quick because I know there are other people that want to call in. I don't want to hog up online. But I've been saying over the past years to my sister that we're letting too many people in this country, and I'm just like, I have an issue with the immigration policy because my thing is, I graduated from college, graduated at HBCU with a bachelor's, and you mean to tell me when I go on like careerbuilder.com and Indeed.com, want to pay you $9, $10, $11 an hour? I'm like, get the F out of here with that. I'm like, I work too hard for that, and then I'm researching then the taxes that's being taken out of every working citizen check going to like Mexicans, a lot of them coming here and ask, it doesn't make no sense. And it's crazy over here in New Jersey. That's all you got. And when I first moved up here, it was just, just regular Spanish, like Dominicans, Cubans, you see them, Puerto Ricans. But I noticed that after 2 years ago, we started getting the Mexicans and the Guatemalans, and then when I went to California, I said, "Dad, they over here too." And because my job had sent me out there, but I did not know they were getting a free house and free schooling, and also, like $700 worth of food stamps, and I know it varies for different states. So, yeah, you damn right, I support that wall. Build that wall right away. I don't have to take it out of my tax money. Build that wall.
So, what HBCU did you go to?
I went to Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina.
So tell me, what did you think about Trump meeting with the HBCU presidents?
Oh, I thought that was very huge. I wasn't expecting that. I knew that he wanted to meet up with them, but I didn't know that they were going to all meet up in the White House. To me, I thought that was a little bit more classier than what Obama did when he had JD, which I don't like, Beyonce, and all these black entertainers in the White House. I mean, it really wasn't really a big deal to me. I'm just like, what are you trying to prove? I mean, you just got entertainers in there. Average people can't relate to those people, and the type and the way that, I guess you could put them in. When you're the establishment, you could put them in that category, like they're the establishment. Like, how can working hard class blacks relate to us, the establishment blacks as far as in entertainment? People that are basically like your puppets to dumb you down. It's no different than those old black and white cartoons. I know it wasn't around back then, but those old black and white cartoons where they had blackface and the red lips. I don't know if they call it Sambo. And he was like the entertaining cartoon that little white kids and, of course, black kids will watch, like if they had TVs in their house. It's like the same thing being repeated. But then when you dig deep, you find out that the liberals were behind the enslavement of black folks. And it's like the only difference is instead of using like the chains and the whip, what they did is they throw the welfare program, the government programs, all up in our face to control us.
Mm-hmm. They
keep us dumbed down.
Right.
Because they don't want us.
They keep us dependent.
To be independent.
Right. They keep us dependent on that, And I mean, I was thinking about that also in terms of what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. But when you were talking about that, Sambo image, I was thinking of like, what I was going to say when you talked about how it's like the Democrats were in charge of slavery and Jim Crow. See, I watched that. You see how I was talking about having other sources of information. You should get your information from everywhere. Information is power. Knowledge is power. So I watched that Dinesh D'Souza documentary, Hillary's America, and I learned things that I didn't know. I learned things that I didn't know about the Democrats. And in fact, he said that it's been a myth. It's actually a myth that, when they talk about the Dixiecrats and they switched parties during the Civil Rights era. No. He's researched this fully. And it was like it's less than 1% of the people actually switched parties. You got to watch that Hillary's America. The Democrats...
Oh, that was good. I saw that.
Was that good?
It was really good. I tried to show it to my friends, but they didn't want to look at it.
Yeah, it's like you can't get people to look at stuff, right?
Yeah, they let that fear get in the way. But I wanted to add on what you were saying. That was very huge for me to step out of my comfort zone to vote Republican because I wasn't going to do it, but I knew that I had a short period of time before the election came, and I was doing all the research I could to find out what else I needed to know about Donald Trump. I mean, he had already won me, but I needed to do as much research as possible, but I had to think outside of the box. I mean, it really changed my view about everything since since this election. I just learned a lot. I mean, even about your airheads like John Lewis and Oprah, and just very disappointed.
Yes, they are.
Very disappointed. And then she had the nerve to say that she might vote for not vote, but she might run for president. Anytime, like your entertainers and your John Lewis and Obama and even Hillary, because it's the white liberals too. Anytime, the more they resist, the more they hide in something. I'm telling you, they got skeletons in their closet.
Yeah, and there might be. Hey, I wouldn't. I've seen in the non-mainstream media, not the mainstream media, this issue about Pizzagate. I know you said that it's like fake news, but there might be something to it. I heard that there might be something to it. I hear that there's, Trump is arresting. There's been a large arrest here in Los Angeles of people involved in a pedophile ring.
I heard about that, yeah.
So
because I didn't get Amber Alerts about that too, especially in Pennsylvania, because I'm finding out now that Pennsylvania's right over next to New Jersey. It's one of the capital states of pedophilia.
Really?
Yeah.
And so, there might be something to it, and it might be a little more diabolical and underhanded and closeted more than we know. Do you know what I mean? There's something going on. Why these people... Well, I think it's the elite who are in control, and people like Oprah and all these other black talking heads and black politicians want to maintain the status quo because President Trump he's a threat to their life and their lifestyle. He represents a threat to that.
I agree. And see, they're worrying about paying taxes now because we've been accommodating and taking care of all these high-paid entertainers and while they fly on their private jet. No, excuse my French, but let them pay taxes. Let them pay taxes. We the one that made that platform. They didn't make the platform. We did.
Right, but I think that I don't know what Trump's tax reform bill is going to be, but I think he's going to reduce the taxes on middle class folks, and I'm not sure. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know exactly what the tax reform. I haven't looked at it sufficiently to be able to speak about it intelligently. But I'm so glad that you called in. You're on my Facebook page, and I'm glad you're.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you're a Trump supporter. I think there are a lot more black Trump supporters than the mainstream media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not. The mainstream media does not represent or reflect the American people nor black Americans.
I'm in agreement with that. But I'm going to let you go. And the last thing I wanted to ask you was, since you're in California, you ever heard of Dr. Rosie Milligan?
Oh, of course. Yes, in fact, I get her email alerts often because she's a big supporter of Dr. Claude Anderson. And Dr. Claude Anderson was a regular guest on the old Kathleen Wells show, and so I get email alerts from her quite frequently. However, and she has events, but I've never attended any of her events. However, I intend to.
Oh, she is so cool. I talk to her from time to time. I want to see a Trump report. I'm gonna call her and ask her one day.
But so you know her personally?
Yeah, you could say that. I talked to her from off and on. I met her through Dr. Claude Anderson.
Oh, so you've met Dr. Claude Anderson?
Yeah, he came to Benedict College a few times.
And how did you feel about him?
I like Dr. Claude Anderson. I support Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm definitely all for Powernomics and bringing back all the resources in the black community because, like you said earlier in the show, we don't hardly own nothing. We only own like 1%.
Less than 1%. One half of what?
Yeah.
And hey, and we own less than 1/2 of 1% of the wealth of this nation. And honey, you talk to black folks on social media, you think we're rich, and not only rich but also geniuses.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm in agreement with that.
I mean,
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that this had crossed my mind. Not that I'm changing the subject. I do want to keep you updated with what's going on with the illegal immigration. So far, I know they did cancel the Cinco de Mayo in Philadelphia for 2017. And I know that because I live around nothing but foreigners. All the foreigners, all the Haitians, the Africans, the Arabs that were staying next door to me, gone. So they Trump administration doing something, and I know the Arab that owned the card place across the street that when you get your little oil change, your tire change, they fired the man that owned the place and they closed it down, took the gas tank, everything. I don't know what they're gonna do with that place, but it's gone. But I just had to throw that out there when I was fresh in my mind.
You mean that you can actually see Trump's policies? You see the impact in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I'm starting to see it in my area, but like I said, New Jersey is a blue state, and I can't remember the guy named Congressman in New Jersey. I think his name is Joe Johnson or something. I think he's black.
But there's a Menendez. Menendez is the senator of New Jersey.
New Jersey, but there's another guy that I'm thinking about. I think he's a liberal. But when I find out, I'm posting on Facebook. But he's trying so hard to fight
and I
against
think it's
it.
Cory Booker. Cory Booker? What's it?
I know about Cory Booker. It's not him, but another guy. I don't know what his position is, but I'm gonna find it. But I know he's a liberal, and he holds some seat in New Jersey, whatever he does.
And
he was fighting against, like the illegal immigration. He was trying to have a march to stop the, put a stop with when he's trying to talk to the judges in the area, trying to get them to stop, put a ban on as far as blocking what our President Trump is trying to do with the illegal refugees, saying that they shouldn't get, they shouldn't have to go nowhere, they shouldn't keep the programs, but it's not working though, because you have a lot of people in South Jersey that's against that. As a matter of fact, the KKK, I didn't even know they had a KKK in New Jersey. They marching against the refugees, the illegal immigrants, and the Arabs, Muslims. They're like, we can't have that here. I think it's in Burlington County.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
The thing of it is that today, Attorney General Jeff Sessions came out and said there's going to be penalties if the sanctuary cities don't abide by the federal mandate. There's going to be penalties.
Yeah, I know these states want to keep their funding, especially New Jersey. They better smell the beans and get the program, smell the beans in the coffee.
Okay, Mario, but wait, before you hang up, I want to put out a call for someone to call in. Let me put the call-in number because, as I said, we can only take one call at a time. I hope Liz calls back in. I want to apologize to Liz if she's listening for accidentally hanging up. I was confused naturally. And so the call-in number is 323-522-5600. 5899. Liz, if you're out there, please call in again, or whoever wants to call in again. Me and Mario are finishing up, so let's keep you on a little longer. And when a call comes in, then I'll drop you. Okay? How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. So what else do you want to say?
I guess you asked me all the questions. Now I want to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you because I haven't been keeping up. Was there an update on Senator, what's his name? Senator Leon?
Oh, he's a state senator. State senator. He's a state senator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a call, Mario. Bye. Thank you. Oh, so hello.
Hello, this is Jesse.
Oh, hi, Jesse. You know what? I just let Mario go, and he asked me a question, and you came in right on time because I didn't have to answer Mario's question. Isn't that funny? Okay. Welcome, Jesse, to the Kathleen Wells Show, and tell us why you are a Trump supporter.
Okay, well, so I would admit that there was a time that I used to be really into politics, and then I used to get into a lot of arguments with my family because I was surrounded by all Democrats, and I was so, I would say, conservative, and I always leaned more towards the Republican side of it. So anyway, I sort of fell off track when it came to politics, even all the way up to leading up to this election. And so I would say that when I started seeing a lot of the rallies that Trump was doing and a lot of rallies that Hillary Clinton was doing, in the beginning, I wasn't a Trump supporter. I didn't dislike him, but anyway, so what sort of got me on board with him is that a lot of my friends actually are conservatives today, lean Republican. And so I just sort of started looking at what they were saying and just sort of trying to see if they can convince me to sort of jump on board there. And anyway, one of the things that sort of got me on board with him is due to the fact that when I looked at the other candidate, Hillary Clinton, who was a big-time liberal and of course Democrat, I just could not see myself voting for a liberal. When we look at all the things that's going on in the black community, and I look at it and see we're still at the bottom of the polls for all these different categories. Poverty levels we still at the bottom. Graduating high school and things of that nature are still at the bottom. So when I look and I seen that all black Americans pretty much was going for Hillary Clinton, I said I can't join that bandwagon and vote for who they all voted for. I just couldn't do it. Because when you look at it, you see we have Obama in office. Before that, then you go back to Bill Clinton, the other Democrat. And it's like you guys are still voting for the Democrats, and nothing's changing. And I just couldn't see myself being a part of that. I'm like, if the court is all voting for that candidate, I have the question: why are you guys voting for it? Voting for them, So anyway, I couldn't go for Hillary, and when I look at the direction that the mainstream media always goes, I have to question who they're voting for. And when I looked at them and seeing how much they were demonizing Donald Trump, they made it appear as if he was a complete underdog in this election. And a lot of times I do go for the underdog. But anyway, they demonize him, and once the mainstream media starts demonizing him, that's when I have to look at him and say, why are they demonizing him? And so ultimately, that's who I decided to go for. I just couldn't see myself voting a liberal into office at all because the liberal agenda is just not working for us.
It's not working for us. We have plenty of evidence, don't we? In fact, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, this is 2017, and black folks are facing, black workers in Los Angeles are facing, they're in the throes of a job crisis. And specific areas are construction and manufacturing. Everyone should Google that article. All the keywords are black folks, black workers facing a job crisis in Los Angeles. Google the article, read it for yourself. We have enough evidence, 60 years of loyally voting Democrat, and look where we are.
Yeah, it's a shame. You know, it's not working out. And a lot of times I try to look at, you know, at different areas as far as social dynamics that plays a role in that. And I think, you know, one of the things I sort of agree with is the liberal policies. And I think that because of these liberal policies, it's killed the black community. Because I think it just puts something inside the way that the black community thinks. And somewhere along the way, it just looks like we became lazy. And it looks like, for some reason, we put all of our dependency upon the government.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying? It's like we constantly look for handouts. And it's like the Democrats are always there saying, we're going to give you more. We're going to keep you rolling. And somewhere along the way, it made us lazy. And it's like I just can't support that. It's just not working for us. So it just looks like, and then on top of that, when I listen to the Democrats speaking, it's like they speak to us like little children.
Exactly. You know, like it's arrested development. We have not developed. We're in adult bodies with childlike or adolescent minds. That's not attractive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. And, you know, so when I started following you on Facebook, I must admit, like, when it came to a lot of different people I encounter on a day-to-day basis, it seems like I don't encounter, when we talk to a lot of the black women, I rarely encounter many who are either conservative, Republican, or any of Trump supporters. So when I ran across your page, I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, here we go. At least for those who I come in, who I encounter. I was just shocked when I actually came across the page, and I was just kind of said, wow, finally. But but anyway, I come to see that, maybe it's the people who I was around, because I started seeing more who look like they've awakened.
Right. I voted Democrat all my life. Oh, but you know what, Jesse, we have a call, and I'm going to take it, okay? Hello? Hi, welcome to the Kathleen Wells Show. Hello? Oh, did I miss it? Oh, I missed it. Somehow I missed it. Jesse, can you call back? Isn't this crazy that I don't know how to do this better than this? Isn't it crazy? I mean, I can't, I'm going to type this in the chat room. I've got to figure out how to take multiple, how do you spell multiple? MUTIPLE calls. I've got to figure out how to take multiple calls. Oh, okay, here's one now. Let's see. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Oh, okay. Thanks for calling back. Because someone called it, listen, you guys have to bear with me because I'm not technically savvy This is a new thing because I usually had an engineer at KCAA, so I appreciate you bearing with me, okay?
Sure. I have a question, and I've been wanting to focus on your page, or at least see what I can access that. So when I look at the media, and I see, Maxine, who's, constantly dogging Trump, and even when I looked at, I know you're talking about how a lot of us blacks are, make these decisions based on emotions. And I remember seeing D.L. Hughley on YouTube. He did this entire rant against Donald Trump. And it looked like it was completely based on emotions. And one of the things that he said was the way that Donald Trump dogged the Obamas and their family during the election was one of the things that got him so angry. And I was just sort of thinking to myself that, that's kind of how politics is. When it comes to criticizing people. But anyway, he was just so emotional in the way that he's basing his, hate on it. It kind of seemed like. But anyway, I look at social media and a lot of the people who does a lot of the anti-Trump marches, a lot of them are all black. And it kind of seems like, in a lot of instances, that blacks are in the forefront of going against Trump. And I'm just trying to figure out why is that? Like, I just do not know. And I try to look and see, well, what is that Donald Trump said against blacks to put us in the forefront of the anti-Trumpers so often? I just want to know what it is.
They're crazy people because they believe that Trump is the white supremacist KKK racist. Okay? And if you think, first of all, let's see. When I had my show, I interviewed Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and Neely Fuller. And racism is not an individual thing. It's a group-based phenomenon. It's a race between groups. So they don't have and it's a competition between groups. One group doing better than another group. Because of policies. It's a systematic policy analysis. It's not individual behavior. So, basically, black folks, most, don't understand racism. They don't know what it is. And they listen to these people like Neely Fuller, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and all these other people, and yet they don't understand what they're saying. They don't understand what they're saying. So, to me, what could be more racist than systematically having black folks, having policies that keep black folks, black America, regressed economically? What could be more racist than that? What could be more racist than having a criminal justice system, the 1994 crime bill, the 3 strikes you're out? The 1994 crime bill was written by Joe Biden. What could be more racist? 3 strikes you're out in New York was Rockefeller, I think, a Democrat. What could be more racist than those policies? So I want to know, what policy has Trump systematically instituted that impacted negatively a large swath of black Americans? Well, blacks will say, he had that policy he took out that ad in the New York Times about the guys who, the Central Park 5. He took out that ad, and then they'll say, and then his apartments. And so, therefore, he's racist. So, in other words, taking out an ad in the newspaper is more racist than imprisoning hundreds of thousands of black men with the 1994 crime bill. That's more. Taking out an ad years ago, he made a mistake in the 70s or 80s. Taking out an ad is more racist than the 1990s. These are illogical people, okay? They're illogical. They're emotional. They're illogical. And they are in... Now, these celebrities like D.L. Hughley and everything, I don't know. They know where their bread is buttered, if you know what I mean. They have a mortgage and all that stuff. So, I can't take them seriously. I don't know what they think. And in fact, I called Maxine Waters' office, and her assistant even said, they know what's going on. But they have to play a part. You see?
Yeah, a part of the collective is things like.
Right, and they believe, and maybe they believe in this grand coalition, this kumbaya moment where we're all going to, I'd like to make the world, that song, that commercial, that's an old commercial, like we're all holding hands on the hilltop. And we're all colors holding hands. Honey, my experience has been, and I write this on my Facebook page, diversity to me means more people can be corrupt. That's what diversity means to me now. More people can be corrupt. In fact, I was just reading about one of the deans, Dr. Dean Chaudhry at Berkeley, Bolt Hall, where I went to law school. He had to resign because of sexual harassment allegations. Now, he's an Indian. He's the dean of the law school. He had to resign. So it's like, here you have diversity. You have an Indian dean. And he has to resign because of sexual harassment allegations. So I gather from that, hey, diversity means more people can be corrupt. Just like that Indian woman who was in the criminal justice system. She worked in the lab in a criminal justice system. And she fraudulently, or she purposely, intentionally made the chemical analysis of the the findings that people had drugs when they actually didn't. She cheated the system, and this was an Indian woman. So it's not like it's not like if you have a diversity, there's going to be more fairness, more equity, more justice. Yeah, please. I don't think so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, I just wanted to say that I got to get back on the road here, but I just wanted to say that just by following you on your page and some of the folks who also on your page, like James and Tariq, I learned a lot because, like I said, I get out of politics for a long time, and I'm literally just starting to get back into it, and just running across you guys has helped me. Plentiful. And also, when it comes to legal immigration, I just actually did not realize how much of a bad effect it had on the black community until I started going across the page. So it is really opened my eyes up, to those things. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys, you and some of your followers, and I'm going to keep on following and supporting the show, and I'm going to try to call in. So I'm one of the folks who would say, I don't know it all. I always admit that, hey, I don't have knowledge of this. I don't know this. I have to do my research, and I'm never afraid to say that, but I just, really appreciate you and your followers. I'm going to definitely keep on following you.
Oh, well, I thank you, but we're all learning. That's the whole point of life. It's a continuing learning process. I learned from Dr. Claude Anderson. I voted Democrat all my life until I voted for Trump. But I learned from Dr. Claude Anderson about what politics is. How does it operate and how you play the game and how it's an economic game. It's a competition between groups over resources. I had to learn that myself. I just learned it recently, right? So I'm trying to let people know. I want Black America, I want us to grow up.
Yes. I don't want people to always look at me and look at the color of my skin and just sort of assume that, oh, he's liberal, oh, he's a Democrat, oh, he voted for Hillary. All these things like that. I like to see more, varied opinions and more, like you say, diversity. And, because I looked at it and it seemed that, when it came to 90% voted for Hillary Clinton and also Barack Obama, I was floored when I first found it out.
Right.
So anyway, I was floored. I just could not believe it. And, but anyway.
No, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make strategic sense. No one group should put all their eggs in one basket. You should diversify. You should, we can't.
Yeah.
You should never be predictable. I mean, give me a break. Who wants to be predictable? You can't get anything when you're predictable. You keep your cards close to yourself. Play your cards close to yourself. You don't want like a poker game. You don't want your opponent to see your cards. Well, the opponent here always knows you're going to vote Democrat. How is that strategic? Or as Bush would say, what did he say? Strategy. No, strategy. He said strategery. That's strategery. I can't even say it like that. That's the way he would say it, strategery. How is that strategic? To let your opponent know your cards when you go to play poker. I mean, come on. You're not sophisticated.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And how people going to even court the black vote if it is that predictable?
Yeah, they don't have to court. Yeah, all Hillary has to do is say, "Listen, I got a hot sauce in my purse," and she got our vote. That's crazy. How are we so silly like that? And but I blame the black politicians and the black preachers because they sell this to us. They push it like it's a drug, like candy to a kid. They push the Democrats on us, all of them, and that's because their bread is buttered there. We got to leave it. We got to say adios. We're out of here. That's my attitude. And that with this radio show, I hope I can get more of us aware and awake to the fact that we need to be more strategic, more sophisticated, more savvy. We need to not be so predictable, about what you can foresee what's going to happen to us if we keep up with this behavior. We'll become a permanent underclass. We're already a permanent underclass in Los Angeles. Black men don't even have cars. They're riding bicycles. It's embarrassing.
Wow. Well, I'm going to spread the word, and I'm going to try to, advertise you and your show as well, and, to try to get more eyes on it, and try to get more folks to tune in, because we definitely need more, I would say more conservatives, more, at least those who, lean right. And I'm not saying that we don't have to be, one way or the other.
Right.
But at least, we need to look at things logically.
Right.
Put aside the emotion, look at it logically. I like Barack Obama as a person. I like him. He's a good person. But it doesn't mean I'm going to vote for him just based on emotion. And one thing I always place my votes on those who can least hurt the black community or those who can help us the most.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, even, like I said, just going for Trump, it meant not putting another liberal in the office who's going to continue those liberal ideas, liberal policies, then hey, I'm going for that person.
Right.
So that was one of the things that sort of got me on that back. But thanks, Kathleen. I appreciate you taking my call, and I got to sort of hit the road again, but you got me a permanent follower, so I appreciate it.
Okay, I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Spreaker, because I want to build this. Build it and they shall come. You know what I mean? And I need you to help me build it, okay?
You got it. I'm on it.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we've finished with Jesse, and now we're going. I want to say that the call-in number is 323-522-5899. I don't know if folks are still listening to me. Let's see. Mario says in the chat room that Hillary only visits the black church when she's running in the race. Beautiful. Ted Hayes is here. Is Ted Hayes here? Hey, Ted. You're supposed to be calling in, Mr. Man, Mr. Black Activist in Los Angeles. He's in the chat room. Oh, we have been abandoned by both our political leaders as well as the African American elite celebrity classes who have qualms about I can't say that, careering off of our ancestors' whipped, bloodied, and sacred or scared backs. Okay, hey, Ted, listen. Are you in the chat room or not? I don't know. Ted, are you in the chat room? Anyway, so this has been a good show. I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to see. Because this is a marathon, I like this. I have endurance. You know what I mean? If I can get through law school, I can endure anything. That's the way I feel. So let's see if we can keep it going and how long. How long do you guys think we can keep it going? Do you know? How long do you think we can keep it going? I don't know. Thank you, Jesse. How long do you guys think we can keep it going? Who knows? Oh, you know what? I think Ted is, since he's not calling, I'm thinking he's in his conference call, and yet he's got his computer up. Well, I appreciate you guys calling in. Oh, and, the thing of it is, I want to bring up that article, that Los Angeles Times article. Oh, it's a delay it's a delay. I think it's a delay with comments showing. Oh, okay. I want to bring up that article with that Los Angeles Times article about black workers, and I'm going to read some of it to you. I'm going to Google it right now. Black workers face job crisis in Los Angeles. I'm going to read some of this to you. Oh, here we have a phone call. Oh, and it's Ted. Hello. Welcome to the Kathleen Wells Show.
Hello, Kathleen.
Oh, my God.
It's Ted.
I know, it's Ted. I'm so glad you made it.
Well, I want to be here for a couple of minutes because I got my Monday night class to do. I just now broke through, but I still can't pick you up on the radio, on the computer. I see it live and it's moving, all that. Going across the page is live, but I see the live chat. I've chatted with a couple cats, but I can't get on for some reason. My computer's not working.
Oh, or maybe you need to clean your cookies or something like that. I don't know. You have to have maybe a upgraded computer or something like that, because I've heard other people said they had the problem, and so in other words that explains why when I was calling out to you saying, Ted,
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me, but one of your friends called in from Phoenix and it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's Robin O'Bannon and one of my friends from Chicago was listening in as well. She was calling me and Ted, why come you on the air?
Yeah, because I kept saying, Ted, come on, I know you're a black ad. Tell people why. I know I only have you for a few minutes. Tell people why you are a black Trump supporter.
In a nutshell, I could care less about Donald Trump. I never saw a full episode of The Apprentice. I could care less about the cat, really, to be honest with you. I mean, congratulations what his life. But when he said he's going to run for president, and when he said he's going to build the wall, when he said he's going to end illegal immigration, he spoke code to me and to the Raza and to our supporters. He spoke code. Because what he was saying, what he revealed later in the campaign, after he said, black people, I know what you've been going through under the Democrats for generations. The black people, I know what you're going through in the neighborhoods. I want to help you. I can help you. Allow me the chance. You got to lose. Then he threw the bomb out. And he said, besides, illegal immigration hurts black people more than anybody else in the country. This is why they hate Donald Trump. Y'all got to remember, Donald Trump was their love child. They loved that cat from the right and the left. Hollywood just loved Donald Trump until he decided to snitch on him and decided to make himself an Abraham Lincoln, which means to save black people because the Raza and the Democrats and the socialists planning to take the United States down through black people. It is documented. But most of us don't know that. Up here running behind the Democrats. So that's why I got behind Trump. Now, I don't trust him because I don't trust no politician. And it's our job as we the people to make sure they do what they say they're going to do, or make sure that we put into their hands things that we expect and demand them to do. So, I'm not blind here, but Donald Trump right now, more than any black person out there, is the best hope we got right now, black people. Treat him like a wild white stallion. You got to run him down, capture him, break him, tame him, train him. You see, that's what you got to do to all politicians. And Donald Trump's our best shot. Anybody think he's like Abraham Lincoln, got to be our best buddy.
Sounds good. Now, hey, listeners, you can see why I wanted Ted Hayes, black activist in Los Angeles. For years, probably decades, he's been against illegal immigration. Tell him the work you've been doing, Ted.
I'm sorry?
Tell him some of the work you've been doing regarding illegal immigration.
Since 2005, we were the first group of black folks or any activists against the invasion to ever hold a civil rights march on our behalf. Right here in downtown LA, right into Little Mexico. We held it in Leimert Park, but we got shot down, and we ended up getting arrested. I can tell all, the next time I come on, I'll share with you some things, man. But right now, we call LA Occupied LA. Occupied by foreign invaders. These are not illegal immigrants. These are invading occupying forces. Civilian they may be, but, man, they are occupying us out here. This neighborhood, man, that used to be solid black. A young black man got caught walking on a black girl. You can get yourself killed, man. It's bad, y'all. And wherever you are in the country, if you think because you see 1 or 2 illegal whales running around, it's okay. That's the beginning of your end. They planned it this way, people. Next time I come on, Kathleen, I gotta go. I'd be more than happy to share with your audience about these things and give them a little bit of experience and knowledge as to how they can tamp it down in their neighborhood before it gets out of hand.
Oh, how can you take? Oh, okay. We'll do an episode on immigration with Ted Hayes. We'll do a solitary episode with Ted Hayes and immigration and what's going down in Los Angeles. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll promote it, and we'll get some of the warriors that I've been working with out here, oldies, and bring them on. They can tell you exactly what's going on, y'all. Hey, American black folks across the country, y'all just don't get it yet. Wake up, because it's coming right to your neighborhood. My little brother lives in Aberdeen, Maryland, small town north of Baltimore. He said, Ted, they all up here in Aberdeen now.
And wait,
hurts.
Wait, I was just talking to Mario, and he's like, they're in New Jersey. They're in New Jersey, and a friend was telling me they're in Alabama. Can you imagine?
Yeah. They're everywhere. But that's our fault, y'all. I'm not knocking the Campesinos and the Caballeros. I understand what they're going through, but that's our fault that we allowed our own government to not only stop it, but promote this stuff. Hey, we'll talk. I gotta go. Blessings to y'all. I'm sorry, Kathleen, I missed out. My loss.
Yeah. Well, how long? You're just doing your conference thing tonight, right?
I teach a class, y'all, every Monday night from 7:30. That's LA time, and 10:30 East Coast time on the 14th Amendment. Most of us don't know who we are as black folks in America. We don't have a clue. We get Afrocentric, we get this, we get that, and we ain't getting nowhere because we don't know who we are. And I teach about our U.S. citizenship in the Constitution via the 14th Amendment and the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which is the muscle behind the 14th Amendment. And everybody we share that with, black folks, they get a whole new vision of themselves. It's like a crown prince who had amnesia and someone woke him up. And he realized, damn, I own the house.
Well, Ted, tell them how they can get in touch with you. This
you can either call me on my cell 424-248-4219.
Give it again, Ted. Give it again, the number.
424-248-4219. Or go to the website of the 14th Amendment. It's THE, the digit to the number 1, digit to the number 4, TH.US. It's the 14th.US. And see what I got there for. It's all about your citizenship. Learn that, man. That's power.
And that's more powerful than this Hotep stuff, right? You know, these Hotep brothers talking about we were in Egypt and all that stuff, which we were, but nonetheless, that was
Man,
30.
you can't buy nothing with Uncle Sam from Egypt. That's over there, man. You do that stuff over there. You want now whether you like it or not. Because we ain't got to go back. Whether you like it or not. Go back to business. Whether you like it or not, you are a United States citizen and you have a power that no other people in this country had. It's been hidden from you for all this time. We're going to bring it out right now. All right?
Okay. And let me tell you another. Let me tell you.
Kathy, but we're going to get this right, okay? I'll come back with us doing good.
Okay. Okay, we're going to do it good, Ted. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, bye, y'all. Blessings.
Bye. Blessings. Okay, that was Ted Hayes, the activist in Los Angeles. He's been on this stuff regarding the 14th Amendment and immigration. He knows what he's talking about, believe me. He knows what he's talking about. You got to check him out. Okay, so now I was going to... let me put in the call-in number again just in case, because we're doing a marathon. I don't know if anyone else is still out there. There's Todd in the chat room. Why don't you call in, Todd? Anyway, I'm going to read about this. Black workers in Los Angeles are facing a job crisis. I just pulled it up. There's something I want to read to the listeners right now. This is important, I'm telling you. Do you care? Does it matter? I think it does. So, let's see. Where do we go? Los Angeles is in the throes of a black job crisis, says the report. This is a report by UCLA. I went to UCLA. That's my alma mater. And it says, black workers are often the last hired and the first fired, says Lola Smallwood surveys. That's a last name. She sounds like she's Mexican American. The founder of Los Angeles Black Workers Center. Well, maybe she's married to a Mexican American, right? If we don't address the crisis, we will have a city and a county where there are no black workers. Let me read that to you one more time so you jokers can understand what we're talking about here, about illegal immigration. And if you don't even control legal immigration. If we don't address the crisis, we will have a city and a county where there are no black workers. Didn't Dr. Claude Anderson talk about this permanent underclass business? Have you listened to Dr. Claude Anderson's lectures? Have you listened to Dr. Claude Anderson's lectures? You can get them on YouTube. Let me tell you, some of these people on social media, when you give them a link to YouTube, when you give them a lecture, which is downloaded on YouTube, some of these people on social media said, "Oh, that's a YouTube video? Ha ha ha." That's how twisted they are in their thinking. They don't realize that it is a lecture. I mean, that's like elementary school business, right? I mean, that is like way twisted in your thinking. There are lectures downloaded to YouTube from everyone. There's so much information on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and learn how to do anything. You can go to YouTube. All you have to do is Google, and you can go to YouTube, learn how to sew, cook, change a tire. You can learn about science, math. You can learn history. You can learn, and these people are, they're just not learners. They stop learning in elementary school and it ended right there. So their development is arrested because they're at the elementary school level in terms of knowledge, and they're an adult body. That's called arrested development. Okay, let me go back to the article. It says construction has offered a lot of new jobs to Angelenos over the last several decades, but those positions don't seem to be going to black workers. There were 7,012 black workers in construction jobs in 2014, 2,000 fewer than there were in 1980. So in other words, in 1980, there used to be 9,012 black workers in construction. That 23% drop compared with the overall increase of 128,840 construction workers of all races during those 34 years, or 80%. Wait. Okay. Now let me scroll down and continue. Those new jobs aren't going to white workers either. There were nearly 40,000 fewer white construction workers in Los Angeles in 2014 compared with 1980, a decline of 40%. Okay, I'm going to read that again. So you get it. There were nearly 40,000 fewer white construction workers in Los Angeles in 2014 compared with 1980. 40,000! That means 40,000 white men without a job in Los Angeles in their field. Do you hear what I'm saying? Latinos, however, have significantly upped their representation. There were more than 185,000 Latino construction workers in Los Angeles in 2014. 5 times as many as there were in 1980. Do you hear see, that's called data. This is a report by UCLA, my alma mater. I went there as an undergrad. This is a report. They don't tell you the cause. Then they say manufacturing has been slashing jobs in the country over the last 3 decades. The number of black and white Angelenos, lots of people in manufacturing, declined by the same rate, about 77% from 1980 to 2014. White and black workers in Los Angeles in the manufacturing industry have declined 77%. Hey, this is coming to a city near you if you keep on with the Democrats. That's what you have to look forward to. Can you foresee that? If you would have voted in Hillary Clinton, this would have been swallowing American workers, white and black. Do you see why? Can you begin to understand why Donald Trump's policy of America First was attractive? Can you begin to see that? Can you begin to understand why this is important? We're talking about work. We're talking about income. And see, this spreads out into everything. It has sociological implications. When a man can't work, it impacts his relationships. It impacts his family. Then the woman is impacted because, it's just men need to work. That makes them feel like men. That makes them feel essential, necessary. It fulfills them. They must have work. That makes them feel like they're important and impactful in life. And do you see the data in construction and in does it matter? So the question that I have for the listeners, when Democrats say we're all in this together, how are we all in this together when manufacturing for black and white Los Angelenos has decreased by 77%? How are we all in this together? Wouldn't it be a little more, proportional to the percentage that one is in the population? Wouldn't it be more proportional as opposed to just all one-sided? One group is just drastically and dramatically increased in their numbers and participation in the labor force. Wouldn't it be more equitable? You would have a certain percentage of whites, certain to reflect their percentage in the population. Why is this happening? And this is why Donald Trump is attractive. because we're Americans first. Everybody should be working. All Americans. All Americans should be working, not just one group over another. And that's what's happening. That's the reality. Let me tell you, when you talk to liberals, all they talk about are their feelings. Their feelings, their feelings. Oh my God. Oh, it's not fair. We're breaking up families when we deport illegal immigrants. Hey, well, didn't you break up black families? What about our families? When the man isn't working or he's carted off to jail. You're breaking up the black family. The 1994 crime bill broke up black families, giving black men long sentences for possessing some rock cocaine or something. And now we see that there's a heroin epidemic and they get medical treatment. Let me tell you, the policies coming out of D.C. have just been ineffective, adversely impacting black Americans for decades. That's just the bottom line. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. But anyway, I'm thinking I'm going to end. We've been going Liz didn't call back in. Remember I accidentally lost her? Let's see, we've gone 2.5 hours. I guess, that's a long time, wouldn't you say? So I think since no one has called in, let me give out the number one more time and maybe someone will call in. That's 323-522-5899. This is the show. This is the Kathleen Wells Show. This is the new and improved Kathleen Wells Show. And we had a marathon. We went 2.5 hours, a marathon for Black Trump supporters. And I want to say I really appreciate everyone that called in. This is what we want to do. We want to build something. But I need you to help. I need you to help me help you. I'm going to build it. I'm willing to do it. My intention is there. But I need you to help me. That means sharing the show, liking the show, subscribing to my YouTube channel, donating. You can donate like $1 a month, $5 a month. It's just a good intention, and you're letting me know, Kathleen, we want the show to stick around. Because there are costs associated with doing a radio show, right? And there are costs associated with taking the radio show to the next level. That's what I intend to do. That's what I want to do. That's what we need to have. Because black Americans can no longer rely on the mainstream media to give them accurate information. Everyone's liberal, all those black talking heads. What are their names? Charles Blow, Van Jones, Richard Fowler. Who else? All liberal people. And they're all singing the same tune. Oh, and this is the tune. This is the tune that they're singing. There's an entire forest in life. It's a forest, and there are many trees. And the black talking heads only look at one tree, the racism, white supremacy tree. That's it. They don't look at the other trees. They don't look at the economic tree. They don't look at the homelessness. They don't look at the foreign policy tree. They look at one tree, racism, white supremacy, and they think they're done. And they think they're doing a service to black America. Anyway, on that note, I think I'm done too, right? We had a good show. Next show, I think I'm going to do immigration. I'm going to focus on immigration. I'm not sure when I'm going to come back on the air, but it's going to be soon. It's going to be good. And if you follow me on Spreaker, all of you guys follow me on Spreaker, you'll be notified when I go to a live show. I love my shows to be interactive. I love people to call in, and it's more dynamic, I think, because I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your thoughts, right? So I think I'm done. We had a good show, and the next show will be immigration, and I look forward to it. Don't forget to follow me on Spreaker.com. Thank you. It was a good show. Now I'm trying to, I know, you see, I'm always, okay, here we go. Wait, let me do this. Okay, here we go. We're signing off. This is the Kathleen Wells Show. I'm Kathleen Wells, your host, and thank you for calling in, and it was fantastic. The next show will be just as great. Thanks.